Today we're going to be talking about regripping your golf clubs. Now, regripping is something that majority of golfers don't do frequently enough. And as much as you don't think it does, it really does have an effect on performance and how you swing the club. A worn grip is going to cause you to use more hand tension and grip the club tighter, and it's going to affect how you swing that golf club, usually in a negative way. When you have a worn grip, the things to look for are, one, does it just feel slick? Does it not have that same tacky, grippy texture that it used to have? Two, does it have wear marks, like where your thumb sits or maybe where the palm of your hand rubs against the top end of the grip? Those spots there are losing traction. And then also visually, does it look slick? Does it look shiny? Those type of things are all signs that you have a really worn grip on your golf clubs and it should be replaced. And the thing is, regripping isn't that big of a deal. There's plenty of options out there for different feels, textures, sizes, all that to fit anyone's needs. So when you regrip a club, you can even do it at home. I'm going to show you how to regrip one right here. And you only need a few simple tools, nothing too crazy or extravagant. You don't need to go out and spend thousands of dollars on equipment or workshop benches or anything like that. You can do it in the comfort of your own home garage fairly easily and fairly inexpensively. So the few things that you'll need to regrip a golf club, the first you're going to need some double-sided tape. So some double-sided tape for gripping. You can buy this pretty much anywhere they sell grips and other parts for golf clubs. You're going to need a rubber shaft clamp that's inexpensive, holds the shaft of the club without damaging it in the vise. A knife with a hook blade on it. The hook blade is going to help get those old grips off without damaging the shaft. You're going to, of course, need some grip solvent to put on to help get that grip onto the shaft. A towel is always useful for any of the spills or a little bit of slop that'll come with it. And of course, you're going to need a brand new grip. Now today we're going to be using the new Golf Pride MCC +4 Max Align. Now this is the brand new grip from Golf Pride, and you may have heard all those things in other grips from Golf Pride. They've combined all of these amazing technologies into one grip. So brushed cotton on the upper hand here for control and added traction, a performance rubber in the lower hand that's going to let you kind of grip the club a little lighter, add more speed. And then this is also built up in the lower hand like it has an extra 4 wraps of tape. And that reduces the taper of the grip and again allows you to swing freer and boost more power. And then on the backside, of course, the Align Max. Now you've heard Align before from Golf Pride, but this is the Align Max. And this one here is 25% larger and is actually, this ridge is as large as the rules of golf will allow. So what this is going to do is fit a little bit better in people's hands as they grip it, and you're going to get that kind of reminder of where the club is aligned, where the face angle is, giving you a more repeatable swing and more control over the golf club. So we're going to be using these on this club, and we're going to do a quick regrip to show you just how easy and simple it is. All right, so the first thing you want to do is take your golf club. You're going to take this rubber shaft clamp that we talked about and snap it right on the shaft like that. So that way it's on there, it's holding it, and this way you can set it in your vise, tighten it down. You don't have to go crazy. You can actually crack a shaft. I did it learning years ago, but put it in there, make sure it's snug, but just don't go crazy on how tight it is. Then you want to grab your hook blade knife. It's got a hook blade on it, and this way that hook blade is going to help not damage the shaft as you're cutting the grip off. Now when you cut the grip off, of course, be careful. You have a sharp knife and you're cutting it kind of back, so don't stand right behind it and cut into yourself. You want to kind of stand off to the side and cut this grip off using the hook blade. So you want to cut this off and it will just ride along there, cutting off the grip. It's kind of hard to do left-handed backwards, but cut it off here. And then when you've gotten it cut off, you'll take the grip and just peel it off the shaft. And it comes off pretty much as easy as that. You can peel this off and just kind of peel it. It'll take a little while, but you can peel it off. Show you a quick trick if you have a torch laying around or some heat source to get this off. So what you can do to make this a little bit easier to get this tape off, because it is a pain just to kind of peel it off and it comes off in little pieces. If you have something to heat it up with, I've got my torch here that I use to reshaft clubs. If you don't have something like this, you can use a heat gun if you have one laying around, or even a hair dryer on high to kind of just get this tape loosened up. You want to loosen up kind of the glue on it so you can take it off a little bit easier. And the key is to not heat it up to the point where this is actually turning brown. You don't want to burn it. You just want to get it warm so that way it's easy to peel off. So I'm going to use my torch because that's what I use. And you just kind of go quickly over the tape, just running, lengthwise, and just kind of warm it up. You don't need to get crazy. You don't need to get it real hot. This is just something to kind of help peel it. Again, I used to do this before, and I used to heat it up to the point where the tape turned all brown, and then it was basically burnt on, and it was a pain to get off. And then once it's heated up, it should be a little easier to peel off in bigger sheets. So it also depends on the tape. Some tape is going to be a little more stubborn than others. I've seen some really easy tape. The thicker, nicer stuff is easy to peel off. Sometimes you get some of the thinner stuff from some of the OEMs or something that's really old, and it just takes forever to peel off. So this one's coming off fairly easily. Pretty much, there we are. We're done. All right, so after you have the tape removed, you want to grab your shaft clamp again, snap it onto the shaft, put it in your vise, and the thing you want to do to align this, to make sure that you have your grip aligned perfectly, is you want to look at the score lines, the grooves on the club, and make sure those are perfectly vertical going up and down. So don't look at any other part of the club. Don't look at the front top line here. Don't look here. Just look at the grooves and make sure those go straight up and down, perfectly vertical. That way you'll have this set up perfect where you can just slide your grip on and it will be aligned perfectly with the face of the club. Once you get your club back in the vise, you get it aligned perfectly. You want to take your grip, set it up against the shaft of the club just to see how far this goes down. How much tape do you need to make sure that this grip is on there? So we can see we're right about here. Some people might take a Sharpie and make a little mark on there and say, oh, the grip goes down to wherever. I like to go about a 1/4 inch up from where the grip actually ends because as you put the grip on, it will stretch a little bit and be slightly shorter than the full length of the grip. Not too much, but a little bit. And then once you have your mark on there, or you just visually know where you need to be, you'll take your tape, your double-sided tape, take one strip, start where that line is, put it on as fairly straight as you can, give it a little pat down there, and then take your knife and cut about a 1/2 inch after the end of the shaft. So you want about a 1/2 inch of tape hanging off the end of the shaft, and we're going to use that, I'll show you, to kind of twist and put into the shaft to make the grip a little easier to get on. Then, if you're only putting one wrap of tape on, you're set. Some people will use 2 layers of double-sided tape. Some people will use build-up tape to get the grip the way they want it. But we're going to use 1 layer here, and then you want to just wrap it around the shaft. And you want to be as careful as you can to kind of get any of the wrinkles and stuff out of it because you don't want any wrinkles in the tape that you might be able to feel. And then kind of twist and fold that tape underneath the back of the shaft. That way the whole back here, the rim of the shaft is all covered and it'll be easier to slide that grip on. Then you take your grip, take your finger, plug the little hole at the bottom there with your finger, make sure it's tight, and then put a little bit of solvent in the grip. You don't have to fill the whole thing up. You don't have to go all the way to the top, just like maybe halfway or so, and you're good. Then take your other finger, plug the grip, give it a little swish back and forth. And this is where I like to have my towel ready. And now you've coated the whole inside of the grip with solvent to make it a little more slick. And then you're going to basically dump it onto the tape and just pour it on slowly. Make sure everything is covered. Take your grip, put it on the end of the shaft. It'll kind of fold over and push it on gently, just like that. Now you can make sure that everything's straight when you get it on here. Give it a little wipe with the towel, get all that excess solvent off. And once you're done there, you can pop it out of the clamp and set it down to make sure everything looks straight. Make sure you don't have anything, wobbly or anything like that. And if you do need to make a couple adjustments or give it just a little turn, you're able to do that for just, a minute or two after it goes on. But once it's on straight, and it looks good, the align marker's straight, you just set this aside and give it about 15 or 30 minutes and it should be good to go. So that's all there is to it, to regripping a golf club. It really is that easy. You cut the old grip off, peel off the old tape, put a new layer of tape on, slide the new grip on, and you're ready to go. So you have a fresh grip that's going to give you lighter swing tension in your hands, a more free swing. You'll hit it further, you'll hit it more consistent, and it's just something that you should do at least every year, if not more, depending on how much you play. When a grip starts to get slick, have no problems going off, regripping it, and getting some fresh new Golf Pride rubber on there. So the other part of regripping that people kind of get into is, what grip do I need? What grip should I use? What grips are out there? And Golf Pride offers a huge range of grips that can sometimes be a little confusing, but if you go to the website, they've got a lot of tools to kind of filter through what you like and don't like. And it all comes down to a lot of personal preference. What do you like the feel of? Do you like a firmer grip or a softer grip? Do you like something a little bit rougher, tacky? There's tons of options out there. You can jump into something like a firm grip, like Golf Pride's firmest grip, the Z cord here, which has the brushed cotton cord run through it, and it's got a firmer rubber, so it's extremely responsive. It's a little bit rougher, but it's great for humid conditions or players who sweat a lot. It just keeps that traction up when it's wet. There's also some grips on the other end of the spectrum, like the Golf Pride Tour Rep 2G. Now this is it looks smooth, like smooth rubber, extremely tacky, a softer compound, so it's just a little softer in the hands, but it offers that great tack that some player really likes. A lot of these grips also offered in standard, mid-size, jumbo, even undersized to kind of dial in the right fit for your hands. Then, of course, as always, there's the classic, iconic Golf Pride Tour Velvet. This grip has been around for decades and is just the standard when it comes to a good combination of medium firmness rubber, good traction to it, and this brushed rubber just feels great in the hand. So the Golf Pride Tour Velvet 360, typically what I use is the 360 version of this, but just a great all-around grip, good durability, good tackiness, good traction to it, and kind of a medium feel. You can also run into what is probably the #1 grip on tour, the Golf Pride MCC. So this is the kind of dual compound grip. It's got that brushed cotton cord up in the upper hand and a softer responsive rubber in the lower hand. So great feel, good traction in that upper hand, that little softer feel in the lower hand. They make this in a bunch of different colors to kind of mix and match your favorite team, contrast, whatever. You'll probably see this win on tour a whole lot throughout the year. And then the sibling to that one is the MCC Align. So the Align here's got a little less, a little smaller Align technology that goes into it, still fits in the pads of your hands well, still lets you kind of, grip the club consistently and know where that head is, that face angle is throughout the whole swing. Same construction as the MCC with that firmer brushed cotton cord up in the upper hand and that softer responsive rubber in the lower hand. So lots of grip options out there from Golf Pride, depending on what you need, what you like, but there's something out there to regrip your clubs with. So make sure, go out, check your clubs before the season really gets going. Check your clubs, see which ones out there need to be regripped. Make sure nothing's slick or worn out and get them regripped. Whether you're going to do it yourself, just like I did here, or take them to a local professional to do it, either way, get yourself some new grips. You'll swing better, you'll feel better, you'll play better.